Hey, welcome to Forest County, Pennsylvania, in the Forest County Outback Channel, combining history with the outdoors. Today, we are going back to the Pennsylvania Lumber Museum. Yeah, okay. Hey everybody, last week at the Lumber Museum we looked at the logging camp, the log loader, and the Shay locomotive. This week it's going to be shingle mills, boiler houses, vintage woodworking equipment, and sawmills. This is Forest County Outback 34, the Pennsylvania Lumber Museum, Part 2. Okay, this is a reproduction sawmill. And if it was actually running, that pond would be full of logs. But you see they got steam up, so hopefully they'll be running in here pretty soon. Making shingles was a big business, and that utilized logs that were too short or just unsuitable for sawing into lumber. And we're going to take a look at a shingle mill that was built in 1868 and is back in operation. Okay, before asphalt shingles, houses were covered with wooden shingles. And they used to be made by hand, and as technology progressed, you started seeing them made on machines like this. A lot of them were horizontal, or this is horizontal. A lot of them were vertical. But as you can see, the taper in the shingle. So when they were laid like that. Okay, so.
My hand? Yeah. Ready? That's all over me. Get too thin so you can't use it. So you go get another block. This thing was made in 1868.
Okay, now a lot of the sites we've gone to, we've looked at stone piles called boiler houses. And they have a reproduction of a boiler house here. Now this is bigger than most of the ones that we looked at. Usually they were single boilers, but this is pretty big, it's pretty large. But Let's take a look inside. So as I said, there's usually just a pile of stone left because the boilers were encased in stone. Not always. Sometimes the boilers were sitting out, but the stone served two purposes. One was fire protection, and one was it did help retain heat in the boiler. And a lot of people think it was because if the boiler exploded, it would contain it. It wouldn't. It would just make more shrapnel. Like I said, most of the mills we looked at were small. Now, places like the Salmon Creek Sawmill, the Kellerville Sawmill, they had 3 boilers in those. This is two boiler system, and they're fairly large boilers. Most of the mills we looked at, they had a single boiler, fairly small. So yeah. So this is all the equipment and the motors that drives the sawmill upstairs. Now in this next clip, we're in the basement of the sawmill, and they have a woodworking shop set up there using vintage equipment, 1870s, 1880s. And if you're really into old machinery, this is really a neat little clip. And it's all run off of a steam-powered line shaft with belts. Really interesting, and Rowan really wanted to be in the video. So she's in this. This is her big chance at stardom. Yeah. So hopefully it's not a trend. All right, we're in the basement of the sawmill, and Russ is he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with this work area here and some of the machinery in there with his lovely assistant, my granddaughter, Rowan.
Okay, Rowan's our expert here. He's got a little sample steam engine here. There's the cylinder and the piston. And we're showing how when the piston goes up and down, it turns that shaft over there, right? So what makes the piston go down? Yeah, lots of steam pressure. We've got 110 pounds of steam pressure coming down through here to the steam shaft, getting rid of the water. It's still early, so we're trying to get rid of the water. Goes into the cylinder and pushes piston down and turns the wheel, and then this V valve opens up the exhaust, lets the exhaust go outside there, then it opens up the intake and pushes it back up, so steam is power in both directions. Power. Right? So when that piston turns, the wheel turns, right? The wheel turns, goes up to the belt, runs the line shaft. The line shaft is always running with the steam engine running. then we'll put this down from here. So we can hear. So this line step is always turning when the engine's spinning. If we want to engage a mortise machine that would cut a hole in a piece of wood for like a emergency center joint. Cut that off. Yeah, if we want to make a mortise and tenon joint, we'd need a mortise machine would make a hole. They usually don't do it like that. Dump the hole with a sharp cutter here and get the hole to match the other piece. Then somebody said, why don't we just, this is like 1871. This machine just goes up and down. We can just engage it with a clutch here. So once the engine's running, we can engage any one of these tools here that we got. The mortise machine will put different bits in there, and that would cut the hole for us. The tenon machine is over here. These two machines work together. So mortise makes the hole, and tenon makes the piece that goes in it. I didn't figure that out just did I? Oh well. So I just turned it off to be safer back here, but when you push this through, it cuts the top and bottom, and we wind up with a tenon, which is the piece that would fit in the mortise hole. So we've got power here, got a tenon machine, a mortise machine. This machine here, it's like a shaper can make anything. So we've got blade on the bottom so we can plane the bottom. Got another setup on top so we can make the top smooth too, right? All in one shot. Then we've got cutters on each side. And this uses power, it feeds right through. So we can take like a tongue and groove board in one shot. All the same trick, plane on top and bottom. One side make the tongue, one side make the groove. Feed it through and you can make boards that all fit together. Or flooring. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? But you can put any bit you want in here and make almost anything. Then we've got a drill press. These are engaged. You can engage this or disengage it. One of these wheels is the drive wheel. One is just idle straight. So we slide the belt over on the drive wheel and then the drill press comes in. Can you pull that down for me? Pull the handle down. Whoa. So you can drill a hole, right? Pretty cool. Yeah. So any one of these four machines can be engaged or disengaged individually. Different selectors.
Now we don't know if they're going to run the mill today, but we're going to take a walk through here and explain the different steps, and maybe we'll get to film it in action later. Okay, this log pond would have been full of logs, and they used that because at that time they didn't have things like forklifts and that, so that's how they moved the logs around. So, okay, the logs would be moved over here to the slip jack. They would run a cable down here. There was a winch up in there. They would run a cable down with a set of tongs, pull them up the slip jack. From there, they would be rolled over onto the log deck, and then onto the carriage, which is actually further up. The carriage would be setting again to the log deck, so the log would be rolled onto that. And they would be trying to get the best cut dog down, and they would be run through this headset over here. Now from there, FCOB edge would go over here to this edger. They would run through there. Planks that boards that did not need to be edged would go down that set of rollers, and I think they're live rollers. All the boards would go through this entrance. They would cut the boards to length, and from there they would go out onto the docks and be tiled and stickered. These elevated platforms were pretty common because they would actually stack the logs or the lumber in piles 20 feet, sometimes even 30 feet high. So this was in a larger size mill. This would be like considered a mid-size mill. This would be a standard procedure. So you would have these elevated walkways out here. Now this mill would probably have anywhere from 10 to 15 people working inside the mill. You would have your guys in the log pond, you would have this guy operating the slipjack, guys rolling the logs onto the carriage. For Sawyer, you would have maybe one or two setters. Then you had your off-bearers, the guy running the edger, the guy running the cut-off saw, and then off-bearers from there. So this would be a pretty chaotic operation if you were not familiar with it. It would be very, very noisy, and it would just be, if you're not familiar with the procedure, it would just be confusion. And it would probably be a sensory overload with all the noise and all the action going on. Walk up around this side, take a look at the carriage. Big band mills, and those were capable of cutting the largest old growth timber that was here. And the circle mills never went away entirely, but like I said, starting in the 1870s, you started to see the band mills come into. They had been around back into the 1850s, but they had a lot of technical problems with them. It took a while to get the bugs worked out and make a practical, reliable machine. And when they did, they largely took over the lumber industry, but like I said, circle mills never really have gone away. Unfortunately, they could not get a crew together to run the sawmill today. Hopefully we can catch that next year. But in the meantime, Thanks to Russ in the wood shop for his time, and the fellow with the shingle mill. I didn't catch his name, but a big thank you there. And to everyone on staff at the museum, which is located on Route 6 between Coudersport and Gailton. I hope you learned something from this, and hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, share, and remember you can follow us on Facebook at the Forest County Outback Facebook page. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.